electric.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Yashvita, good to see you.
Everybody. So good to see you, Nez. Yeah.
This is excellent and fun. And let's do some introductions before we tell everyone what's going on. We'd like to welcome everyone to the Nihka Technology Group and PAICTA Youth on Tech webinar. I think the first of its kind, Yash?
The first of its kind. I'm just so excited that we've been able to get this together. And I'm even more excited because our panelists are in an age group that I think is very, very important for the future of South Africa. So super excited.
Absolutely. So before you give us the inspiration about what brought this webinar about, I know we were talking about it recently. I would like to introduce myself. I am Nazreen Ibrahim. I will be one of the moderators for today's panel discussion. We have some excellent panelists and they're all youth, which makes it even more important for us to listen up on what's going on in South Africa. I run NAS Consulting International. It's a premier African communications business. But alongside me, I've got an even more esteemed colleague, Yash. Where are you from? What do you do?
So thanks for that, Naz. You always set me up so nicely. I'm Yashmita Zana. I'm the CEO of the Nihka Technology Group. I do lots of fun things around tech, cybersecurity, business analytics, information security, and lots of managed services, but basically an end-to-end ICT services company. And you know what we found since the start of COVID, there's been a plethora of webinars that we've attended. I mean, to the point where I think we can all admit we've gotten a little bit tired of the online webinars, and the type of topics that we were continually seeing were very, very common. The future of work, for IR, work from home, and so on. What will happen to our youth in the 4IR? And that one specifically caught my eye. And all the webinars that I attended around youth in the 4IR did not have a single youth in the webinar. Not a panelist or even a participant or even in the audience member. So I thought, why don't we ask them what they think?
What they want.
Exactly. Where do they see themselves going? And that's how the idea for the webinar came about.
This is absolutely brilliant. I think we want to welcome the 13 people watching on Facebook so far. The number is sure to increase as people get the notification and get onto the live stream. This webinar is fun today because it's not like typical webinars. We've got panelists from the age of 12 to 24. We've also got exciting prizes. If you love online shopping like most of South Africa does and has been doing since lockdown hit us, we've got 2 1,000 Rand vouchers up for grabs from Take A Lot, courtesy of the Nihka Technology Group. This is going to be fun and exciting. We want to give a shout out to Sonwabo Dwaba, who's at the back end from PAICTA. He's very excited to know he's watching us and cheering us as we move on. To our panelists, I think it's time to bring them in. Yash, what do you say?
Yes, let's introduce them. Can't wait.
Okay, brilliant. Let's start out with our 2 young ladies. I'm absolutely ecstatic and overjoyed. First up, we have, we should actually bring both of them up, Lisandre Slabbit, Kishan Abrahams, both of the Westbury Youth Center in the robotics program, joined by their wonderful and extremely able coach at the back end, Jolene van der Ross. Jolene, if you can pop your head onto the camera just to say hi to everyone. You've been instrumental in getting us all sorted out with the webinar, and we'd love to say hi to you if you are around. Otherwise, you will join us shortly. Yash, do you want to introduce the guys?
Oh, hi, Jolene.
Hi, Jolene.
Instrumental, such a coach and mentor. So, yes, we have Kashan. Kashan, would you like to wave to everybody so they can see who you are?
Hey, Kashan.
Yeah, hi, Kashan. 13-year-old robotics protege. I mean, I'm so excited to see and hear what she's been doing. And her thoughts on Yes, and her thoughts on where we're going. I mean, and then we've got Lisandre. Wave to everybody, Lisandre. Another amazing, only 12-year-old, still in primary school. I'm just so blown away by what she's done. And we're just going to be so excited to hear what she's thinking about in terms of coding and the future of the youth in the 4IR industry. So let's go for it.
Okay, excellent. Now we've got the guys. Mohammed, Ismail Mohammed, is from Africa School of Technology, a 19-year-old young gentleman, if you can bring him up on screen, who's studying IT and everything that goes with it. He's going to share with us his thoughts today. He's based in Durban, and we are very happy to welcome you to the webinar. Finally, we have a 24-year-old master's student at the University of Johannesburg. He is, and Yash will introduce him.
Jared? I like to call him Smarty Pants Jared because he's just so smart. But he told me he's intimidated by the 12-year-old girl. So we'll see how he keeps up with them during the show next. Let's see.
I suppose, Yash, I mean, he did mention some intimidation fears by the two young ladies, but I can't blame him otherwise because they blew me away with how amazing the both of them are when we had a chat. So I think we're good to go. This is excellent. Just some housekeeping rules for everyone. You have the ability to send your comments through both on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, wherever you are tuning in from, which is wonderful. We'd like to say a big thank you to Nihka Technology Group and PAICTA for bringing the session together, as well as our partners on the project Socially Acceptable, Robots Can Think, Westbury Youth Center, as well as Mashup Community Development, and all our other media partners involved. I think it's safe to say that we've brought about this panel discussion, as you've talked about earlier, because of the requirement for young people to have a voice about what is needed in South Africa to move the technology movement forward. Our president, Cyril Ramaphosa, always speaks about 4IR, but do we know how the youth see that? So I think that's where we're going to go. Yash, would you like to kick off the discussion, talking or posing a question to our panelists, just to start to break the ice, start the discussion?
So I think I'd like to ask Lisandre to go for that one. You know, I think being where she is and what she's learned in the youth center with Jolene, and what does the term 4IR mean to her? Because as you say, we hear that on almost every speech that the president gives, and also on all our existing webinars. So Lisandre, what does it mean to you?
Industrial revolution. Yeah.
For 4IR, to me, it means that a lot of stuff will be replaced with advanced technology.
Advanced technology. And I like how you use the word, Lisandre, advanced technology, because there's so many, right now up on screen, people see the terms robotics, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, IoT. Exactly how you would define advanced technologies. But how do they understand it? And that's really cool that you say advanced. I'm going to hand it back to you, Yash. I know we're going to move on to Kishan from here.
Yes, so Kishan, I heard Lisandre say replace many things that we do. And what do you think that we're going to be replacing with this advanced technology?
Do you feel it may be humans, robots, people and their jobs? What do you think we might replace, Kishan? Your audio is, I think you're on mute. Check your audio again for me. Okay, say something now. That's okay. Don't worry. I can hear you now, which is wonderful. Continue.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
People with jobs.
People with jobs. So you think it will replace people with jobs. Now, I like that you positioned it like that, Yash, because I want to throw it to the guys now.
Yes,
Mohammed and Jared, and we'll start with Mohammed. Is that true for you? Do you think it's going to replace people with jobs, especially as we move towards 2041 and the rest of the years?
Basically, the 4IR will help us in our working experience, make our jobs easier, and help us improve our working situation.
Improve our working situations. How, Jared? How? Yes.
Sorry, I got the mute thing. So I think that the technology is going to assist people in the jobs in the future. So you'll see robots assisting surgeons and helping them to actually see through tissue, like for anything that's wrong. So I don't think they'll replace jobs. I think they'll assist people, and there might be some tedious jobs that people don't like doing anymore. So like assembling. So robots are capable of assembling really well. So yeah, they're just going to replace some of the jobs that people don't really enjoy doing and assist others.
Yeah. And if I could just tag on to that, Nez, with the answer that Jared's given. So Jared, so just taking on to what you said about assisting the humans, how then do you think that's going to change the way we should be prepping ourselves for what's coming?
It's a good
So
question because I'm also trying to charge my laptop, which decided it wanted to die right now. So forgive me while I'm doing that. Continue, Jared.
So the youth need to be aware of coding, so it really needs to be integrated into our schooling system. And I actually read an article recently where the basic education minister actually suggested integrating robotics and coding into the syllabus. And after reading it, I was pretty jealous because I would have loved to cover that in school. So the youth will be prepped for what's going to come.
Yeah. And then maybe Lisandre, just tagging on to what Jared said there around incorporating coding and robotics into the school curriculum. Are you finding that right now where you are in your school? And do you think it will help you, first of all?
Yeah.
Yes, for me it will help because we can use it in the future when we are gonna need to build robots or code them to do certain things.
The projects you've worked on now, Lisandre. So you said that it will help us to build in as we work on projects in the future. Tell us about the project you worked on at Westbury Youth Centre alongside your team members and coached by Jolene.
So we're working on the first Lego League project, which is a robot game. So the robot has to do different things like run the treadmill,
Yeah.
step counters, different stuff. So we have to code it to do those things.
Okay. That is fascinating because I think what you're making me think about is what are some of the skills required to build that kind of project. And I want to move on to Kishan, if we can,
Yeah.
Yash, to ask
Yes.
about your project that you worked on with your team members.
Yeah.
We built also mission models to complete the mission, which was like maybe for the robot dance, the
Hmm.
step counter, and all that stuff. So we need to figure out how is the robot going to do that stuff.
You're going to
Okay.
figure out how the robot's going to do that stuff. Yash, do you think this leads nicely into a question of what skills are required to be able to both code and build a robot?
Yeah, I think we can ask the panelists what they think the skills are needed to in order to code and build a robot. Maybe Mohammed?
Um, the skills that's required, you should have a good background in coding and assembly of your components, and depends on the software that you're using as well.
Hmm. I think, and more I want to ask also is it's not just the technical skill, it's also
Mm.
the personal skill. You know, your
Yeah.
character, whether you are, if you're afraid or you want to be brave. I remember yesterday, Lisandre and Kishan were talking to us, and she said, coding makes me feel brave, or building a robot makes me feel brave. So, what from your experience would you say are some of the softer skills, I think? Mohammed will ask you, and then we'll go to Jared before we go back to the young ladies.
Okay, can you repeat that? I'm having a bit of a issue here.
What more, I think, characteristics do you think are required to be effective when doing coding or building a robot?
First, I think you have to be precise with what you're doing. Think before you even start, and go take it step by step at every single time. don't just rush into it and ma- do a make a mess out of it, and then it will take you a lot more time in order to figure what you did wrong.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you there. Jared,
Yeah.
you are doing, Yash, I know you know this already, but Jared's doing studying or writing a dissertation on machine learning and how it will help better facial recognition. How is that? How are your skills helping you to articulate this better, to discover it better?
Well, I actually have two important skills and well attributes. The one of them is patience because you can't rush anything, especially with machine learning. You have
Yeah.
to have a plan and then follow it through. And the second one is you need to be passionate because you are not going to enjoy debugging code for 4 hours if you're not passionate about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we know all about this. Although I suppose in our line of work, being persistent and a little bit impatient helps sometimes.
Yeah. So I was just so fascinated by the projects and programs that Leandro and Cassandra are doing, and I wish we could see some of that in action, but maybe on another webinar if the girls have that in
Yeah.
front of them, that would be great to see. But Lisandre, you maybe you can take us through how you program your robot to complete a task. Well, can you tell us how you do that?
So our robots complete the task, we need to code it to do so. So we need to do pseudocode, which is our sticking our blocks or writing what the robot is to do down. Yeah, measuring. Um, we have to set our parameters and put the code together, test, and we have to debug our code.
As I'm listening to Lisandre, I'm thinking that the first time I heard the word debug was when I entered the ICT industry 15 years ago. And here we have a 12-year-old talking about debugging code. Isn't that just
12 and
incredible?
13. It's totally incredible. I spoke with the
Yeah,
ladies also yesterday, and just this understanding of why robotics and coding is important,
yeah,
the answers really blew my mind from across the panel, in fact. Because I think, and we're going to get to this, the question where we ask, is government doing enough? I think everybody wants to hear an answer to that.
yeah,
But what the young ladies are talking about, down to our two gentlemen, this is critical about how the thinking has changed. Therefore, how we assign our skills to what is really important now to set us up for the future of work. I think that's
exactly.
really key. I want to take your question, Yash, before we go to our first um, audience interaction break. But I want to take your question over to Kishan. And Kishan, I want to ask you, what's your experience like of working with team members across the board? And do you think school is helping you to be a better team member, what you are learning in school?
Yes, I think school is helping for us to be a good team working together, giving each other chances, and we also experience different. Our team might have different strengths, which is maybe I'm good at building creativity. My next partner is good at debugging, good at
Mm-hmm.
measuring, etc. So we experience many stuff with our teammates, and we have lots of fun, and we should work as one team to do coding and robotics, because at the end of the day we all want to celebrate.
We
Wow.
all working towards a common goal. Wow, I couldn't have said that
Wow.
better, Yash.
Yeah, you know what it's making me think about, like how the incredible work that Jolene is doing at the Westbury Center is actually preparing these young ladies for the world of work where working in a team is so critically important
Yeah,
to get
yeah.
out a projects of the magnitude that we work with. So I think it's totally incredible.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And I just before we get, I know we're going to go to an audience interaction break now, but for Mohammed and Jared, quickly, how, what would you say about the team element, especially working in the tech industry? Why is that so important? Jared, we'll start with you, though I know you and Mohammed will throw it to each other.
Okay. So you need a team because it's just too much work to do by yourself. Ideally, you'd like to balance your team with finding someone that has the skills that you do not possess. That's the ideal situation, but finding a team that has that doesn't always happen. So then the next case would be you should probably find a team that you guys are going to enjoy trying to figure it out together.
Mohammed?
I was gonna say pretty much the same thing as Jared, because
Well,
everybody has different strong points. Like some people that I know have good assembly strength. I have good coding strength and debugging. Some people
Yeah.
have their own strengths in their own ways. They do things in their own ways, and they
Yeah.
get things done.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is the underlying thing is have a team that you can have fun with together in order to build this tech. Okay? That's really what it is about.
it's really
Yeah.
what we are saying here. It's all about the
Yeah.
team spirit, and I can indeed see team spirit on this panel, that's for sure. But now we also
Yeah.
need to think about our team outside who's watching us, and that means we need a bit of fun. So we're about to head to an audience break, and that's a word poll coming up. Okay, great. So everyone visit slido.com, go to your browsers, go to slido.com, that's slido.com. You see the ticker at the bottom, it tells you exactly what to do. Go to slido.com and use the code YOT to enter. I'm going to check out how audience is doing. Just go to slido.com. We'll give everyone a little bit of time. It takes some time sometimes. Go to YOT. This is our first audience interaction element. What we want to do is we're going to run a word cloud, and it's just to get some ideas about what people think. I think we're running it now. We don't have any votes yet, but it would be really nice to see some votes. So give me a moment while we bring it up. There we go. So if you're looking at the screen right now, if you've joined, you can see the question is, which is the one skill every child should be taught in school right now? And we can see the screen up. It says coding. If you're looking at it, we've got one vote so far, only one vote. It's slido.com, YOT. Just check that out. And then we'll come back to our particular screen here, if you can see that. Yash, what is the one skill every child should learn in school right now while we wait for our votes to come through?
I think that I often wish that we could teach our children creativity, and almost more than that, I think it's resilience. I call it grit, the ability to keep going, to keep learning. And I think for me, the biggest thing, I think you and I are probably alike in this instance, Naz, where we are lifelong learners. Because for where we're going in this new world of work, for instance, it's okay to have a traditional degree, but things change exponentially on a daily basis. And if you are not open to learning and continually increasing your knowledge around a certain subject that you're passionate about, then I think that's what we need to teach our kids. We need to teach our kids not the way they are being taught now in the very traditional way. We actually need to teach them the love of learning.
Yeah, the love of learning. I love that, the love of learning, because it means that you're curious, you're inspired, you're eager to know more about the world around you, and you're unafraid. Generally there's this idea that, oh, my question is too stupid, I can't ask it. But there is no question that's ever too stupid to ask. Every question is relevant or valid or valued. And so while we wait we've got 11 votes so far, which is brilliant. Can we get our panelists to answer this question? And give us your brief thoughts. And we'll start with Lisandre. What is the one skill every child should be taught in school right now? Lisandre.
I I think technology, because we are going to be using technology a lot more in the future.
Technology should be taught in schools. What about technology particularly? What is the one thing that you want them to learn in schools?
For me, I'm gonna go with working with a computer, like learning to code,
Yeah.
or yeah, so that we can know, so that different children know how to do coding when it comes to needing to code, when we need to code.
Okay, brilliant. Which means it's an important skill to you. Yeah, should we move on to Kishan?
Kashan?
Kishan?
I think a child should be taught in school right now is that education is the key of success. Success, because I mean, like, I was not Nabiya if I never attend school. You need to attend school to know how to read, to know how to write. And lots of children is really struggling with stuff like that. Some can't read, some can't count, which is in our daily lives. We should be able to count, because I mean, like, there's money, and we know this is
Exactly.
a 10 rand, this is a 50 rand. So yes.
Yeah, yeah. That's a, oh my God, that's a fantastic answer. Who knew how to do taxes when they were in school? I didn't, that's for sure.
Exactly. I was thinking the exact same thing, Naz. I was thinking when she said we need to learn to count our money.
Yeah, it's so true because I mean, even how many adults are also learning about financial literacy right now?
Exactly. And budgeting, simple things like budgeting.
Yeah, 100%. I think the
Investing. We need to learn,
investing.
teach our kids how to invest.
So
Right?
this is
Yeah.
true, and I'm loving that this question is bringing out really core values of what actually needs to be learned at school level. I
Yeah.
think this question, though, I like to hear it from the perspective of both Mohammed and Jared from the higher education perspective, because both of you are on campus at the moment, and that means that you want to answer it from the perspective of what you think they should be teaching children at school right now. What is your view, guys?
To be honest, I feel that kids at school should learn how to do so. They should know the basics of a computer. Start from there, then think outside the box, and the creativity that goes into everyday life. Because nowadays technology is advancing it's so rapidly that some people can't keep up with it.
That's absolutely true, and I think it's going to flow nicely into what Jared's going to offer us.
Mm.
Well, I'm actually the person who added to the word cloud there how tax works because it's still
I
confusing
see
me.
that.
Yeah, I would have liked to know that. But also, would it be nice to know coding concepts? So you don't need to learn how to write a language. It's easy to learn how to write a language. It's more important to learn the concepts behind that language. Well, the concepts and then apply language to that.
Yeah. Okay. So that's I like that we've rounded this up, Yash. And before we
Mm.
finish up this particular question, you want to go through the word cloud and what it looks like? It's a fair representation of how South Africans are thinking at the moment.
Mm. So I'm actually picking up, I think it's coding that's showing strongly there.
Yeah.
Coding and robotics. I see teamwork coming up, technology. I see one that's really perking my interest that says it's okay to make mistakes. And that's really an important skill that kids need to learn because
Yeah.
that leads you into, that allows you to be creative. If you're not allowed to
100%.
make mistakes, how are you going to keep trying and trying and trying different things in order to get your coding? It's exactly what Leandro and Cassandra were saying earlier.
Yeah.
What are
Yeah.
you picking up there, Naz?
So it's wonderful to see the teamwork come out because that's obviously still a critical skill that I think we learn no matter how old you are, how young you are, you continue to learn that as we go through each day. The financial literacy is important for me. It's something that I think because I'm focused first from a personal point of view, being an older woman now, focusing on building generational wealth, that stands out for me. So I'm looking at that. Then it's okay to make mistakes 100%, importance of mental health and wellness is really important. Now that we've gone through lockdown and the coronavirus and have lost family members, school has not been every day. Kishan, Lisandre, you haven't been at school every day. Now you're back every alternate day. Campus has been out. We've been working from home. It's been difficult to grapple with the sudden changes, but I think that having a strong focus on mental health will really help us to add value to all of these other wonderful, exciting things we're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Brilliant. So that's the end of our first audience engagement. Well done, everybody, and congratulations for participating. We had a wonderful round score of 16 votes, which is pretty good for an online webinar. And we've got some really nice comments coming through. Dr. Natalie R. says, "This is simply revolutionary. Proud of these two young minds from Westbury Youth Center." She is the one who actually made the introduction for us. Natalie is from Robots Can Think, one of our associate partners, and we're very happy to have you on board. Another comment, Yash, do you want to read some of the comments coming through?
I need to see some of the comments. Oh, here we go. We've got Mandisa that's saying, "I'm loving this webinar." Thanks, Mandisa. Coming from a village myself, I wish kids growing up in rural South Africa were more exposed to tech and skills like coding. Absolutely. I think that's going to lead us into our discussion around what more government can do for kids, especially children from rural South Africa. Yeah, that's a very valid point, Melissa.
Absolutely valid point. We'll go with one more comment. Chenji D says, "I'm so proud of the young stars in the IT space. The country's future is so bright." Indeed, it is. And if ESCOM behaves as they have been behaving so far, it will be brighter. So we should hope so. We should hope so. But I'm very pleased to see that. I think this panel is inspiring in us. What we already knew is that the youth of South Africa are indeed a bright bunch, Yash.
Yeah, a bright bunch. I'm just feeling so overwhelmed with pride right now.
So am I. And I think that leads nicely into feeling proud of our young people to tell us what they think about how coding can help us in our jobs. In what ways can coding help us? We'll start with Jared.
Yeah.
Okay, so with our jobs, coding actually helps you develop problem-solving skills. So you'll be able to look at a problem, decompose it, and actually work your way to a solution. So that's one of them there. Another thing is you can automate a lot of the tedious tasks like sending emails. So it can help you be more productive. If I think about another one, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I like the automation bit a lot because especially from the marketing point of view, from our point of view, that is a massive value for anyone, is automating, making something work on its own while you don't have to worry about it, which is all the dull stuff. Mohammed.
Coding can help us understand technology the way it is present in our everyday life and how it continues to advance at an astonishing rate. Coding is basically, how can I put this? Coding is like it helps you think of how to program something, how to put things together and create something beautiful from that piece of code that you have written.
100%. And a comment just came up. Sean Michael says on LinkedIn, coding is a way of thinking, analytical thinking, problem solving. Yash, I think both you and I heard Kishan and Lisandre talk about problem solving earlier.
Yeah. So, Lisandre, do you want to add to how coding is helping us?
Coding helps because it also gives more jobs. It makes more jobs available in our country, especially.
What kind of jobs do you think would become available if people did coding, if they studied it and they were good at it? What kind of jobs do you think would be around?
They could become robotics coaches so that more children can learn how to code.
Yeah.
And they could also code more games and more websites.
Websites. That's an interesting one. Is it easy? Is it an easy skill to come up, or do you have to work at it every day?
For me, if you work at coding for about 2 to 3 months, it gets easier. The more you do it, the more easier it becomes. So
100%.
it shouldn't take that long.
Yeah.
Kishan?
Yeah.
Coding helps you solve problems. It helps you also talking to computers. It's it helps you communicate with robots as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just picking up, I heard gaming engineering, gaming there, Nez, and I'm thinking of my two young boys.
Yeah.
One is 14, one is 18 in matric this year. And if they could just lock themselves in a dark room and game 24 hours a day, that's probably what they would
That's
do.
probably what would happen.
But it's unbelievable how big the gaming industry is and growing in South Africa. I mean,
Yeah.
I know for a fact that universities, I know BITS is actually offering gaming engineering as a full degree now.
Mm. Mm.
So, do you, Lisandre and or Kishan, let's start with Kishan. Do you see that as a possible career, developing games?
Yes, I see it also. You can, if you're doing coding, you can create apps, games, as Lisandra said, and websites. So
Oh,
yes.
oh, lovely. Yeah. Lisandre, would you love to develop games?
Yes, because gaming is fun and more children would play games and they would be busy, they would be out on the streets. Unlike
Yeah.
now, they're always in the streets or they trying drugs or shooting each other, especially in my community.
Yeah, that's an incredibly important point, which we're picking up as almost a side benefit of what the girls are doing at the Westbury Center. Like
Yeah.
the good work that the center is doing, allowing kids that would not otherwise have the this type of opportunity to get off the streets
Yeah.
and be trained and skilled in what Lisandra and Cassandra are doing. So I think it's really, really a valid point.
I'm I'm going to say this again. I'm just mind blown by the conversation of the four panelists. I thought I was doing good work. Clearly, I have more work to do, Yash, after this panel because I am not doing much, it seems, or at the inspiration level that these young people are certainly bringing to the table. We have our second audience engagement break coming up. And guess what? It's your chance to win 1,000 Rand Take a Lot voucher. We are preparing you. Get ready, everybody. So we're about to run it. Let's go to our audience break. Okay, brilliant. As you know, you go to slido.com, you put in the code YOT. Yash, slido.com YOT. Yash, you can't enter, I can't enter. This is very sad. This is very sad. It's beyond sad. I feel like crying right now under the desk.
And
And I won't do that.
I just wanna remind Sonwabo from PAICTA, who is one of our sponsors and supports, and he also can enter.
Yeah, Sunwabo, I know you're in the background. Let me see your expression, facial expression about no entry. He's smiling ear to ear, so I suppose that's a good sign. Unfortunately, none of us can enter. This is you'll be able to see the results actually when they come up. We need more people to enter, please. We're waiting. We'll give people. There's 5 participants so far. So yeah, get in there. It's slido.com. The code is YOT. You have a chance to win a 1,000 Rand Take a Lot voucher. And well, the quiz will start when it starts, and you have only 20 seconds to answer. But we need you to really get in there and get ready. I'll tell you how many people we have on board so far. We have 9 people.
So do we say in South Africa fastest internet wins?
You know what? This is the only thing that will actually win right now is the fastest
Yeah.
internet. because we all know how the internet situation is, but it seems to be working. Thank God. Well done, everyone. Your internet connection is all brilliant. So that's a big win on its own today. We have 11 people so far on the quiz. I really want to get. I see there's 20 people on the live stream. I really want to get more. We've got a lot of comments that came through. Mandisa, Tenji, Jean, Michael, Monica, and one of my team members is French. So she's probably laughing at the way I said that name. But, Mira, you need to help me how to say it. Marlon, Megan, KK, Kumzila, Mandy, Lee, Gershwin, and Natalie. Please, guys, I see your comments. You're amazing. Can we get more people on? I'll tell you now. We've got 13 people. I'm tempted to run the quiz. What do you think, Yash?
Run it.
I think we run the quiz, right? We start the quiz. Your time starts now. Okay, the question. We want to bring it up on screen. I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see it. It's a little bit of a different view from what you saw last time, but you know what? I'll just share it with you here. Don't give us the answer just yet, lovely ones on the panel, because we want everyone to. So we've got, I see there, what is the name of the University of Johannesburg's new robo dog? Is it Bot, Spot, Cot, or Dot? Which one? You got 33% on Bot, 33% on Spot, and Cot and Dot got 17% each. There's 6 votes so far. So if you're Googling it, please don't Google it. Just answer. This is what's happening. This is why we're not getting so many answers.
The reason for the need for the fast internet.
100%.
Yeah.
But of course, the time is up. So the correct answer is actually Spot. Very well done to whoever's got it right. And our leaderboard, Monica Kikana, very well done. In 12 seconds, you have answered correctly, which means you have gotten the answer right. Very many congratulations to Monica Kikana. You're winning yourself a 1,000 Rand Take-A-Lot voucher. And all the details will be sent to you. Please, can you, we're going to put up on screen, actually in the comments. Monica, we're going to get in touch with you. We see that you're on LinkedIn. One of our team members will reach out to you shortly to get your details, and we'll arrange for the voucher to be sent to you. Yeah. Brilliant stuff. That was exciting.
Yeah.
That was very exciting. Not exciting that we couldn't enter, but I mean, it was exciting.
I thought I saw Andre trying to enter in the background somewhere using a pseudonym, so I don't know. We must check up on him.
We're going to have to check up if it was not like the giant something.
Yeah.
It could
try to enter.
Yeah. The rest of the panel members have experienced Andre for ages now through the discussions of what we've been doing, but they haven't seen Andre actually and why we call him the giant Yash.
Yeah. We will introduce him in person one day.
In person, yes. Yeah. That will work. Okay, brilliant. Back to our discussion. It's now 3:45. We're meant to finish at 4:30, which means we have 45 minutes left. We still have one more Take-A-Lot voucher to give away, and that will come up at the end of the session. That's brilliant stuff. And also one more fun question to participate in. Yash, what's our next point of discussion? What are you thinking of?
I'm thinking that we need to start asking the kids about whether we are doing enough, whether the government is doing enough, or what they think we should be doing for them right now to get them to this new world of work.
Mm-hmm. The new world of work. So can you ask your question again, Yash? What should the government be doing?
Yeah. So I think Jared, I'm gonna pick on Jared there because he's further along in terms of the age timeline. Yeah. So Jared, what do you think?
Of course,
I need to pick on you. What do you think, or do you think that government understands what the kids read now to succeed in coding of robotics? Do you think enough of that has been done?
Well, actually, I did mention earlier about reading that business tech article. So if the detailed about adding robotics and coding into the syllabus, so and the content that they covered was really, really close to the stuff I did at varsity. So if they actually go through with that, then yes, they do understand what is needed, but whether or not they go through with it's another topic.
And I think Mohammed, what do you think?
What do I think about the government understand what kids need about coding and robotics? So basically, what I think is that government don't have enough fundings in order to provide kids with these skills in order for them to learn about robotics and technology that's going around these days.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
that's
suppose
a
in a way,
really, yeah,
that's a valid view, Yash.
very, 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 very valid view, and actually very true. Actually, very true. And I think it comes down to a number of things. But what we have found in our work is there are many organizations out there. I can think of a few top of mind that is supporting government in trying to get these programs off the ground. I mean, the Westbury Center is a
is one
classic
of them.
example, but there's
Yeah.
many organizations, and I think it comes down to not just government, if that's what I'm getting to, but maybe a collective getting public, private, parents, the kids, everybody involved in understanding what is needed and helping to implement this. And I think I'd like to go to Lisandre now. So Lisandre, do you think we understand, or the government understands, what you need in order to succeed in coding and robotics?
I think they do understand or they do know what we need. They just not putting enough effort or trying to put enough time in to give us the stuff that we're gonna need to do robotics and coding.
Wow, wow, from the mouths of babes. And then just following on from what Lysandre is saying, the Kashan, if you think of the teachers that you have currently in your school, do you think any of those teachers have been trained to do the actual coding and robotics teaching?
At our school, no,
Yes.
I don't think so. Because we never even heard. I heard from Coach Chow that coding and robotics is gonna become a subject at our school, but I never really heard it from the teachers or from the principal or something like that. So I don't think they're preparing us for the subject, because what we really need for that subject is computer lessons in order to do coding and robotics.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
need computer lessons in order to do coding and robotics. That line there is so, um, uh, it's such a powerful and significant line talking about the actual challenges we face in the country with making sure that all children have access to this. Having
Exactly.
computer lessons mean number one, I have a device to practice on, and number two
Yeah,
means I have the internet connection to connect that device to practice on,
yeah.
and also the necessary platforms, like all the different types of software that we have a chance to use, that everyone
Google
has a chance to
Classroom.
use.
Google
Exactly.
Classroom. Yeah.
And that always on that live connection, and for that you need energy, which means you need electricity or you need power. You also need a safe space to do that in. I think so. What we're hearing from the kids directly, and what really fascinates me about the comments that the children are making, is it's pointing to the challenges that we face both as parents, as families, as community members. Do we have enough a space, safe enough space to explore what we need to do to build youth? Do we have the right internet connectivity, and do we have the right devices?
Yeah, yeah. And perhaps I'd like to go back to the girls, if you don't mind, Nez, understanding the
Yeah,
communities that they go into.
not to leave out the young men
I
because
won't. I promise I'm not being biased. I just want to go one more back
they're
to
feeling left
them.
out. Yash, they're feeling left out. These poor boys.
But I just want to understand. I want the girls to tell me, in the community that they're growing up in Westbury specifically, understanding the challenges that the youth are going through in that community. Do they have access? Do the schools have access to the to the resources that Nazreen is talking about? Do they have the internet connectivity? Does your school have the computer labs that's so needed in order to do these subjects? Do you have that in your schools, Lisandre, or the schools in your area?
The schools in my area, certain schools have the equipment like my school, but the lights are always cutting because they're always stealing the cables, or the generator doesn't work, so we can't actually use the laptops or the rooms that we need, because sometimes the teachers use it as extra rooms for textbooks, so it's filled. And our laptops, sometimes the principal feels that it's not safe to use the laptops, so he like just gave the laptops back and said he doesn't think we should be using laptops because of our community. They're always taking stuff.
It's
Yeah.
a reality. It's the reality of the situation that
Yeah.
many parts of the country face, and whether we go to one type of school where you can have your laptop with you all the time, or you go to another type of school where you can't really keep it on you all the time, and whether
Yeah.
you go to high school, primary school, or campus, there's some level of this challenge I think all of us have faced. So thank you for
Yeah.
explaining it so well, Lisandre. I mean,
Yeah.
these are real challenges that she explained. Kishan, would you
Yeah.
like to continue on that?
Yes, I'm gonna agree with Lisandre that the principal at our school don't think it's safe for us having laptops due to our family. Some that is on drugs, some who's just stealing, who needs money and who's not asking. So maybe the principal is scared to give us laptops because they're gonna steal it, or we're gonna break it, or we're gonna use it for not education but for games, for music, for videos, all that stuff. So maybe the principal don't want to also give us laptops for that reason.
Yeah. Yeah. I think coming back to working as a community in order to make sure that the children and also the schools feel safe enough to be able to give the kids the resources that obviously that some of the schools are gaining. And I mean, what's the point, Les, of having these things and locking them away in the room so the kids can use them? I think, Mohammed, what is your feeling on this?
I feel that carrying a laptop all around in around your city is not safe to have it around. I know from experience when I was in matric that back in 2019, I used to carry my laptop to school every day because of my IT class, and I didn't like using the computers because some certain ones had viruses and it should always crash all the time. So this one time when I was carrying my laptop, a dog out of nowhere, a wild dog came and chased me, and I fell down and I cracked my screen. So I
Oh,
don't think
goodness.
it's really safe for to carry your laptops all around. And every day I was used to be freaked out that somebody can just come and cut my bag open and take my laptop.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one of the many dangers we can face are also wild dogs
Yeah.
running around, or even a giraffe or a rhino. As I saw, no, actually, a hippo, which was recently shamed, the poor thing is, I don't know one which park it escaped from, but it was found walking around. If it was in,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
I can't remember where about in Joburg, but it was quite recent. I hope
Yeah.
it's been found. It was very cute, but I
Yeah.
think also it doesn't really understand how coding and robotics is really applicable to us. So we leave it to the panel. Come back to the panel. Jared, you're studying machine learning, and how it can make facial recognition much better. Facial recognition, of course, is an application of the coding element that we want that will be really important for us. I don't know if Jared's still with us, but I'll take it back to the
Yeah.
rest of the team.
No, Jared is there. I see him.
Jared, you're still with us. So you're studying machine learning and how it will make facial recognition better, which is a job that people have right now. In what other ways can coding contribute to the future of work? What is your view there? What are the other use cases, as we should say?
Uh, well, well, first of all, the weird coincidence is
And we thought the internet would not worry us today. But
Thought
of
it would
course,
be
it could not be a
behaving.
webinar without this kind of thing. Well,
Yeah.
Jared comes back. Jared,
sorry.
you're
Come
back
back.
with us.
Come back. You
That's
like,
cool.
yeah,
I
in and
think
out
I'm
of the
back.
matrix there for a
May,
little
may,
while. Back in
Jared,
the matrix.
going. Back in the matrix. He's chosen the blue pearl. I think it might be the blue pearl. Let's look at some of the comments, Yash. We've got Mandisa who says, I do not think the government is doing enough. The school curriculum needs to be updated. And we need adequate resources, mostly in public schools, in order to prepare us for future jobs.
Yeah.
Fair comment.
And that was what I mean, coming from the mouth of Kishan and Lisandre, that's exactly what they said.
Yeah.
Yes, they know and they hear about it from the robotics coach from Joe, but they didn't hear about it from their school. So I tend to agree with Mandisa. Yes, while there's policy that's been put out there, while the minister has made an announcement around coding and robotics, inclusion of it in the school curriculum.
Yeah.
The implementation of that is what we
another.
need to be. Yes, we need to be worried about how that's going to be rolled out. How many teachers are going to be trained in order to teach the youngsters coding and robotics? That's what we need to be getting from the government.
I think you're leading into a point Jean-Michel has put up on LinkedIn. He says the Russian school curriculum, and you can continue reading it there, Yash.
The Russian school curriculum includes calculus, computer networking, programming fundamentals. I mean, I'm not sure how long that's been going on, but that's exactly what we need.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we need. So
the recent, you're reminding me of, actually 2 days ago, our the government authorities ran the National Skills Development Conference, which talked about what skills are required for the future of work and whether our schools are actually doing the right thing of positioning young people for the right jobs that will come up in the future. I think these comments are talking directly to that.
Yeah.
We've got one more from Mini Vika.
Okay. Oh yeah, Mini says great stuff for the youth. High five.
High five. High five.
I just have to declare that's my sister, family support. Thank you, Mini.
Family support all the way. Yes, this is
all
how
the
we
way.
do.
Yeah.
I think it's time for another audience break. What do you think?
I think so. Let's go for it.
I think so. Let's do this. Okay, let's stop this. Let's kill that altogether for now. You know what happened, guys? Did you see the answer already? It's pretty bad.
I think. Oh my God. Try again.
We have to try again. So let's try another one.
Yeah.
I don't know who answered, but someone must have answered. It was not me. But we'll try again. Actually, the question was, and now that we talk about it, it's actually funny. But girls, have you heard? And I think Jared's left us. Of course, the internet connection had to hit us hard at some point. Yeah. But Priya Roji, we bring up a comment here. I think Priya is part of our network, Yash. Bring up Priya's comment.
Oh, yes. She's also saying brilliant, great stuff.
Brilliant, great stuff.
Thumbs up. Yeah.
We need to get another poll going, and we will shortly. But the poll was actually about, and the answer was there, but you saw it anyway. It's about which billionaire was the first to go to space recently. All of them have been running to space. Girls, have you been following the space race with the billionaires recently? Yeah, no, it was not really, that interesting. They have loads of money. They're wasting it. They're going to space. No, I'm joking. I'm messing with you. But Yash, what was that news like for you when you saw it?
Look, I think I'm torn between, yes, we've got to go out to space. Yes, all for advancements and colonization on another planet and so on.
Yeah.
I'm torn between that and how could we have used the money better to improve the lives of people on the earth that we have right now. Like, when I saw numbers coming up around the amount that we used to go into space, my mind goes into overdraft about, because I'm an engineer actually in training. I start running numbers in my head, and my head was spewing out numbers about how many houses could I have built, how many kids could I have educated, how many more coding schools could I have built, and that's the dilemma that we find ourselves in. I think it becomes a matter of priority. But yeah, if I have to choose, I would probably have used those billions on Earth to improve the lives of people that are on this beautiful planet. But yeah, that were my initial thoughts.
I think it's an argument a lot of people came out with. But I think it would be nice to ask our panel that. Jared's missing, sadly. I know he'll be
Oh,
back.
Jared is back. He's back.
Jared is back, which is wonderful. So what Yashmita and I were referring to was, of course, many of you, what an understatement. Everybody knows Richard Branson, founder of Virgin everything, because there's so many companies under that name. Jeff Bezos, Amazon founder. There's also one more who's in the space race, Elon Musk of Tesla and SpaceX. And they are all on the race to explore space and to send humans up there like a holiday. Would you guys go on a holiday in space?
What do you think?
No.
Yeah.
Not
No.
a chance.
Mohammed?
Not a chance. I've like it on Earth. It's everything I ever wanted. So I'm fine on the ground.
Feet on the ground.
100%.
100%.
What about you, Lisandre? Would you go to space
exactly.
on holiday?
I will go.
Nobody's going on that spaceship into Mars. Yes, nobody's going. Welcome back from the Matrix, Jared.
Thank you. I heard you talking about going to space.
Yeah, she's trying to come. We've been talking about the recent space race with the Virgin Galactic and Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. We were asking the panelists if they would go on a holiday to space. Would you go, Jared?
Of course, it would be so cool. Imagine just
He's
turning
just
his
come
shoulder.
back from the Matrix, so yes, he would be the one to go to space. Yeah.
I'd be a bit shaky about the landing, but otherwise it would be fun.
Yeah. And all these things require a certain amount of precision and skill. And also the ability, I think, we spoke so much about coding, but Michel says B, Amazon, Jeff. But actually was the second one, Jean-Michel. I see in the comments there it came up. Richard Branson was the first, and he looked very snazzy in his blue suit, in his blue spacesuit. But Yash, I'm interested in, and I think we need to throw this to our amazing pros here on screen, about the stuff that we get from when we put this code together and people use it.
Yeah.
Is the output. What happens when the code comes together and something comes out of that? The output. That's interesting for me. But I think what's interesting for me is, if there's output, what makes that output happen? What in your environment? I want to know the experience of everyone, but how they're determining an output. What makes you want an output to happen? Because then it for me, it talks to the thinking. Thinking is the critical skills. You're critically thinking about what works, what doesn't work, and what will work for the good.
Yeah.
I think that's where we want to go with it. What would you think?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give that one to Mohammed.
Yes. I think my earphones is. Sorry.
Oh, your earphones are giving you trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got to have
Yeah,
some
can
tech
you-
issues.
I can hear you all now.
Okay. Ness, do you want to just quickly ask Mo that question again?
Yeah, I think what helps you determine the output of the system you are building, or the robot you are building, or what you are doing? Let's start with Jared, because Jared has come back from the Matrix.
Okay, so from my side, what determines the output is actually the whole problem statement. So based off of that, you would determine what you want as the output. But a lot goes into that output. So it's a lot of blood, sweat, tears, and a lot of coffee. Can't forget the coffee.
Of course, you can't forget the coffee. Andre is busy at in the background, nodding there somewhere. Is it difficult to write a problem statement? What skill taught at school will help you write a problem statement?
The skill would be you need to be able to like step backwards and not think specifically about the problem. You need to take all the information in and see what it's going to point towards, and that's how you're going to pinpoint the problem.
So then we should ask Lisandre and Kishan, is this true? Are you finding that when you're writing a problem statement? Are you able to do that? Are they teaching that at school? Let's start with Kishan.
Please, can you repeat the question?
Repeat the question. The question is, do you feel at school they're teaching you to write better problem statements? Like you built your robot, right? Recently, you and Lisandre built your projects with your team. But you identified a problem in order to build a robot as an answer to it, correct? Okay, great. Now, when you identify the problem, how did you identify that problem? What made you see it as a problem or a challenge that you would answer? What was it?
I saw the problem as my teammates were asking questions. For example, our innovation project, I did a water slide, what is a line, and they asked me how deep is the pool going to be, which I saw that as a problem. I never worked it out. They asked me many other questions which I can't remember. So that was also one of the problems I had to work on. And they made me
Asking
see the
questions.
problem. Yes.
Yeah. So I think what that is telling me, Naz, is it's asking questions, coming back to teamwork as well. Having the peers and the fellow pupils around you asking the right questions, which, for me, if I have people, I have somebody in my team called Jay Mystery, and he loves to ask questions. And when he asks questions, it actually gets my mind going about the problem. So asking questions, I think it's a good one.
Absolutely.
What about you? Yeah.
And the problem why I built the water slide with the zip line and pool together was because people is not being enough active. So maybe that will keep them active and they would also have fun doing that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you check nicely, when you're doing, for example, a slide, you go up the stairs, you walk in, and then you slide down. When you go up the stairs, your legs are exercising, which keep you active. And when you go down the slide, you're having fun. And then when you're done sliding, you say, "Look, it was so nice. I want to go again." And then you run and go do the same thing. It's like a chain.
100%. Yeah.
Naz, I think what this is making me think about, because the whole what Kashan is talking about is creating a positive social impact in society using technology, even though she doesn't think about it in that way. Because what she's done, what she's thinking is exercise, which is leading to improved health. So I think what I'd like to now throw out to maybe to Jared, the use of tech. Jared, if you think about the one thing that we can use coding or robotics or maybe anything that the work that you currently doing at BITS to solve a problem that we're currently having in our communities, in our societies in South Africa, what would you love to solve using technology?
Okay, so that's actually interesting because with my third year project, my team and we actually created an application that was like Tinder for the SPCA. So it would bring, you could load on animals and you could swipe them and you could see which one you'd want to adopt. So it brings all those animals that without homes like to your fingertips. So that's the problem we solved.
Yeah, I think that is so brilliant. I love it.
That is brilliant. But you know what's so nice about that? What's so nice about, thanks, Deirdre. Deirdre says Didi Slabbit says, awesome discussion and love the fact that the youth is so involved in this. We agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I agree.
Jared, I agree on the Tinder for pets, but you know what? I would swipe right on everything. There would be no left. There should be no left there. There should only be right because all animals are cute.
Yeah,
That's
but
great.
we won't allow Nez to adopt all the animals. I don't think our family
No.
members will be too keen on that. And
Yeah,
what about you, Mohammed? What one problem do you think you would like to solve in South Africa using tech? What's the one thing that's niggling you?
Well, this year we created our first app at my college, which to resolve the unemployment issue that we currently facing. So basically, this app that we created, you go on the app and you search for example, you're looking for a gardener, you search for a gardener and you find somebody that's closest to you, and you select them. You speak with them through WhatsApp or on the app, um, and you can contact them through many different ways, and you can hire them if you want them, and you can leave them a review after you're done.
Brilliant.
It's all brilliant stuff. This is we're watching firsthand how our panelists are building actual solutions to resolve challenges they're finding. So that now goes to Lisandre, who's the last one who didn't answer. What is the one problem you'd like to solve in South Africa using tech?
For me, the one problem I would like to solve is the schools, or let's say the thieves that are stealing cables. So like every time they steal cables, we can use like a fingerprint recognizer or a face scanner to see who is this person that keeps stealing the cables over and over, so that we know if this person comes. So we can put posters up at the scrap yards, and like if this person comes, don't take the cables or anything from this person, because this person has been stealing it.
Yeah, this is brilliant because what Jared's going to do is, since he's investigating the deeper idea around facial recognition because of machine learning, the number of parameters you're going to set there are far greater if someone's wearing a face cover, if they're in the shadows, if they're behind a building. It's phenomenal that the tech
And then,
also has improved so much.
exactly. And he can then integrate his facial recognition with what Lisandre is going to do. And when these people get to the yards, boom, his facial recognition said, "Don't buy from this guy."
There we go. I mean, what I'm finding, Yash, is that the panel has also demonstrated to us the absolute need for every organization, whether it's a corporate or a government unit, to take what we commonly know as stakeholder engagement. Stakeholder engagement or public groups like focus groups, but take it across the groups that are not normally talked to, which are the actual kids. Because I think the youth insight, really kid insight, as we call it, is far more positive to then connect to the solutions that people like Jared and Mohammed are building that make sense.
Yeah, and I just hope if there's any corporates on listening that they take note of these ideas and reach out to us so that we can connect them with the panelists to take the ideas further. Who knows where it'll end up? Tinder for SPCA sounds brilliant to me.
So we've got 15 minutes left, and in the next 10 minutes we run our final competition, which is going to be phenomenal, a 1,000 Rand voucher. But before we do, can we now run one more poll? It's ready. It's there. The answer is not apparent. So we will run one more poll. It's going to be fun. Can we run one more poll?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Go to slider.com. We're about to share the screen. Hold on a second. So, we have 10 votes so far. Very quick.
Sure, that was quick.
Yeah. Any more votes? We've got 23 people online. We're not giving away a prize, Yash. That's why no one's wanting to answer. Yeah, please answer. Don't Google the answer. Okay, so which company is trying to buy TikTok currently? Microsoft, Google, Slido, Salesforce. I think we leave it there. We've got 12
Yeah.
votes, and that's pretty good. And we got less time. The correct answer is, of course, Microsoft. Recently, Satya Nadella, who said, well done, Krishan got it right. I see there from the clap. So recently, Satya Nadella reported, and he's CEO of Microsoft, I think, CEO of Microsoft, if I'm correct. Am I right? I am right, yes. Talking about the fact that it was a very strange and weird deal. And he remarked it that way because he said that it was so odd that in the time of President Donald Trump, when he was the president of the US, wanting to block anything that was Chinese related. And now we see the entire market being thrown off course because China is busy putting so many censors and rules and trying to censor everything they can possibly censor. And now TikTok's like one of the most massively used platforms in the world to do what? To have a career.
Yeah.
To have a
I
career.
mean, yeah, I mean, as you and I were talking earlier about KB Lane. KB
Yeah.
Lane is the young man that just makes fun of these what is this? These hacks.
Yeah.
Hacks.
And
He's
doing this.
without saying a word and basically just making fun of these hacks and with his facial expressions, which are so cute, actually.
He's got
And I
47
was,
million followers on Instagram and so
yeah,
many million more on TikTok. But
yeah,
this brings me back to the fact that he's a content creator, right? So the future of work is multiple things. But seeing that we're talking robotics and coding,
yeah.
what question would you want to then ask Yash about the future of work for our young people?
Yeah, I think for me, I'd like to ask maybe, Ishan, if you're ready to handle this question. You know, when I was growing up, and when we used to have these career counselors that used to come to our school and talk about traditional careers that we'll be doing, and that would typically be something in accounting or medicine or engineering or legal, becoming a lawyer. And I think those were probably the most prestigious kinds that your parents would be very proud if you took up something in one of those four areas. But now we have a plethora of other types of careers that has nothing to do with being a lawyer, an engineer, or a doctor. We have a career in content creation, which I'm blown away. So for the future of work, where do you see the future of work going? Where do you see we would have the most careers coming from?
From here, I see the most careers it will be lawyers, judge, teachers, judge, yes,
Lawyers and
teachers,
judges. Teachers.
everyone want to rule the world, so probably president, programmers, coach for coding and robotics.
Yeah, yeah,
Got it?
yeah. There was a bit of a noise there, Nez. I don't know. I think we stopped with that little crackle that was on the feed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it came through. I heard that, but it seems to have disappeared now, luckily.
Okay.
I heard judges, lawyers, teachers, and anyone who wants to rule the world. That part
Yeah.
there I want to remember because I want our audience and our panel to also remember that who want to rule the world. And we'll come to it because it's sort of the inspiration for our last question, actually, for the quiz. It's funny how that happened.
Yeah.
Kisha, Lisandre.
Lisandre, what type of careers do you think we're going to be seeing in the future, besides the traditional careers like a doctor, lawyer, an engineer, an accountant? What do you see becoming? What do you see kids wanting to do more and more of?
Coding, teaching. Yesterday was career day at my school, so I saw a lot of teachers, judges, a lot of engineers. So there's a lot of children that want to become different stuff. So we can't really say which one is gonna be mostly there. So I'm gonna go with all the careers because everyone wants to be a different, unique person.
Yeah,
Important point.
important point. A unique person means I get to focus on myself more to see how I can be creatively inspired, which brings me to a question, Yash, for the two gentlemen, because they're in higher education and campus. How do you think, for the two of you, what the girls have talked about as career options, how is tech going to change it? What will it look like? What will me as a lawyer look like with tech alongside me in the future?
Mohammed, would you like to go first?
These two.
I'm not too sure on this type of a question, but you can try. Let's hear it from you first.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example of something that's happening right now, just to help you with your thinking there.
Yeah.
So there's actually some artificial intelligence. There's a robot that can currently scan cases and predict an outcome for a judge. And what that has done, it has reduced the need for, I don't know what you call these legal assistants, I think that's what they're called.
Yeah.
But there may no longer be a need for legal assistance because now you have a robot that can scan thousands and thousands of pages and come up with a verdict or come up with suggestions. So I think that's what Ness is asking. Like, if you have a traditional career, how do you think a robot or AI can support that career in the future?
Well, for one, they will make it a lot easier for us. Like you said, that if a robot can scan thousands of pages at one time, at a certain amount of time, so it will make our life, it will do cases a lot faster, and there'll be less time going to court and waiting there till they sort the cases out.
I think my son wants a robot that can scan all his schoolwork and help him write his exams.
I want one that can do housework.
I think we all thought of that day when we were back in school.
Absolutely.
What about you, Jared? What do you think? Which career you think could be supported by robots and AI?
I think just about every career will be supported. So you're obviously going to have those that can scan through and produce outcomes. I also saw a video, I think it was the Microsoft HoloLens, where you have augmented reality and they can help surgeons practice for an operation in 3D. It's crazy. And then all your discussions, you're going to be sitting at an empty table and you're still going to see the people in front of you. So it's going to bring everyone together around the world. So I think technology is just going to bring everyone together.
Yeah, brilliant. I think, Naz, we're running out of time, so we still have a final competition to run before we wrap up.
We got 5 minutes and plenty time for us to run a competition and say goodbye. So let's go to our final competition for a 1,000 Rand Take a Lot voucher, please. Okay, you know the drill. Go to slido.com, enter the code YOT. We're going to kick off the quiz as soon as we start seeing more people coming up. Now we've launched our quiz, so can you join the quiz, please? We've got Deirdre, I see Mandy, Megan, Sive, Genevieve, Adonis, Pumzile, Mira, Bienvenue. Quite a few people coming through. We're waiting. We've got 11 people, so we'll give you a little bit of time.
A little bit more time.
A little bit more time, just maybe a few more seconds. Demakaleng, Mareka. Everyone's ready and set. They need this 1,000 Rand take a lot voucher. So do we, but sadly we can't enter. Next time. Okay, cool. We're about to launch the quiz. We have 12 people, and I think we are good to go. So I'm gonna bring up our quiz page so everyone can have a look at what's happening on our side and what's going on. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how everything is rolling out. And what's nice is it's also the quickest person. So, you know, you're going to see it for yourself live. Whoever's the quickest person, this is what's going to happen. Okay, your time starts now. Which is the latest country to publish an AI national strategy? This is really important. We have 13. We have 3 votes, 9 seconds left. We're nearly there. 4, 3, 2, 1, done. Okay, the correct answer is the USA, Russia, Brazil, South Africa. I don't know. No, I don't know. Let's publish the correct answer. I will show you now which is the correct answer. Give me a moment. The correct answer is, of course, the UK. Which no one got. The UK. Most of the news outlets are running a news story. It was published about 2 or 3 days ago. The UK have just released their national AI strategy around them wanting to become what they call a superpower, AI superpower. The US and China do have AI strategies, but they're coming up. So what we'd like to do is, Yash, I think if we set up one last question, would that be good?
Let's go for it.
We need to set it up though. So I'm gonna stop sharing our screen here so that everyone takes a look. I'm gonna let you take over the conversation and let's get some final thoughts to wrap up this panel discussion from all our panelists. What do you say?
I think that's a good idea. We'll just ask everybody to give us their final thoughts while we're setting up our next question. Who'd like to go first? Lisandre, would you like to go first?
My final sports is running. Huh? Thoughts.
My fault, I should have been clearer. What would you like to leave our audience with? What would you like them to think about tonight from what we've done here?
Have courage in yourself. Be a patient person. Encourage other people, and just be you. For you.
I love that. I love that. Thanks, Kishan. Lisandre?
I'm gonna go with be your own unique person. You don't have to worry what other people tell you or if they doubt you or if they're jealous at what you're doing. Just continue doing what you love to do.
Yeah. And I think I'd like to remind everybody that's listening that Kishan and Lisandre come from a community, and for them to have this type of mindset, belief in themselves, and I think that has a lot to do with their coach in the background there, Jolene. Big up to Jolene for not only helping the kids with their coding and robotics, but also helping them believe in themselves and in their abilities to do this. So Jolene, thanks so much for that. Mohammed, what are your final thoughts? What would you like to leave people with?
Don't let people's thought get to your head. If somebody says something bad to you, take it as a positive perspective, not as a negative perspective. And always be passionate with what you do. Don't say you're going to do this here and eventually don't end up doing it.
So keep the passion and enjoy what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Jared, Matrix Jumper.
I'd like to say that South Africans should be proud of our country, because if we've got youth like this, like 12 and 13-year-old doing robotics, that's crazy. So we can compete with other countries.
Yeah, that just made me so emotional there, Jared. Thanks for that. But I have to echo what he said. So incredibly proud of everybody on the panel, and specifically Lisandre and Kishan. I think, Nash, you're back. Do you have a question for us? Or hopefully an easier one this time.
We have a question indeed. It wasn't that hard a question. It wasn't so hard, but it was a question. Everybody understood. You know what? We have the question coming up. So please, can I ask you to go and now get your names in to join the quiz, please. I want to show you what's happening. We've got so many people who've just jumped on the quiz like that. It's unbelievable. Want to show you what the screen looks like. Hold on a second so you can see for yourself what is happening. There we go. Look at the names. It's just up on screen like that. People are excited to win. Okay, are we ready? We've got how many people? 11? Yash, should we do this?
Let's go. Let's go for it. Running out of time.
Okay, we're starting the quiz. What does AI stand for? You know what? I thought that was not a hard question.
I wouldn't want you as a teacher, Naz. You'd make the exam so difficult.
Yash, you're letting me down here. It's not that bad. Not that bad. Okay. And well done. 100%.
Well done.
So who was the fastest person is going to win. Who is the fastest person? The correct answer is, of course, artificial intelligence. And who was the person to win? We say many congratulations to Mandy. Mandy, we don't know your surname. Very, very well done. Congratulations, Mandy. Winning a 1,000 Rand Take-A-Lot voucher. Please, is it Mandy Lee Beck, if I'm not mistaken? I don't know. But Mandy Lee, would you please stay on? We need our team needs to get in touch with you so that we can get your prize to you.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So, Naz, I think if you could just do a quick round of thanks, I'll leave that to you.
No, we're getting there. We're getting there. Don't worry. I don't want to end it yet. I'm excited. I don't want to end this yet. Umzila says, thank you so much for such an amazing event. This is what our world needs. Umzila, thank you for attending. It's so good that you're here. Any other comments from our attendees that we'd like to see? Jean-Michel was very active. Data science, AI developers, cybersecurity. It's all wonderful. Yash, how did you feel at the end of this session with our panel?
Slightly emotional, I think. I think that comes from feeling so very, very proud.
They're going to laugh at us. I also feel emotional, but they're going to say, you know what, typical mothers, they want to cry. Typical women, they want to cry at the end of something wonderful.
Which is not a bad thing as well, because that's what we need, isn't it? We need the EQ. We need the EQ to make this happen. So I think for me, I'm just feeling incredibly proud of everybody on the panel. I feel so hopeful as well. I feel so much hope for what's coming for us in South Africa, and I hope that everybody in the audience as well can feel that coming through their screens.
100%. I'm going to say goodbye to our panelists and thank you very much for your incredible and wonderful contribution today. We've got Lisandre Slavitt, Kishan Abrahams, Jared. Please tell me how to pronounce your surname properly, Jared.
Even I don't know.
Jared Afau.
Perfect.
Brilliant stuff. Jared Afau and Mohammed Ismail Mohammed. You have all been stars, and we really like to thank our different associate partners for bringing you together. And we say goodbye to you, and I hope that you're on our next panels coming up, which is going to be absolutely wonderful. Yash, I've got to say thank you to Nihka Technology Group and PAICTA for putting this together. You can catch them, everything about them online, across all the board on their websites, nihka.co.za. PAICTA, we can get the website address. I think it's paicta.org. I'm just going to double check that with the team. And if they can put that into the comments, please, the URLs for the different organizations. We'd like to thank our associate partners, Mashup Community Development, Robots Can Think, Socially Acceptable, and Westbury Youth Center. And massive thanks to Jolene van der Ross, the robotics coach at the back end. You can catch both of us, Yashmita and Nazarene, on another chat, which is coming up soon. I think this is the start of the Naz and Yash chats, isn't it?
The Naz and Yash show.
The Naz Yash show. Everybody, you heard it here for the first time, only here. The Naz and Yash show. Find me on LinkedIn, Nazarene Ibrahim. I run Naz Consulting International. You can check it out, nazconsulting.co.za. Yash?
Yeah, I'm the CEO of the Nihka Technology Group. You can find me on LinkedIn as well, Yashmita Bala.
Okay, brilliant stuff. Very well done for staying on right until the end. Until we see you again, take care and just always practice kindness. That's what I like to say. Always
Yeah,
practice kindness.
kindness above everybody else. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, everyone.